April 15th review. Today we're going to look at Bird. Bird was a stock that we had on our leading gapper. As you see, Bird here was the leading gapper of the day. Flow was at 6 million, total volume around 280 million. Total relative volume 4,000 times, right? We see it over here. Big increase. I think it also had some news coming in today, which allowed for the big jump. Now we're going to look at pre-market first. It should be here and then here. In this case, I actually didn't wake up on time, but we could already see from the pre-market that this looks very nice. It's coming all the way from 2.5 all the way up to 8, about 200% increase before the market opened. The only reason I actually would trade this pre-market was just because each bar of volume is in the millions, and even in the 1 minute chart here, if I just, let's say I just zoom in there, 1 single minute can produce on average about 1,500,000 shares of volume pre-market. That's a big deal. We don't see that. And just a clean chart movement. This is giving me the trust that this is like the only stock I would ever trade pre-market if it shows this strength in volume and clear chart movement, right? The fact that it's a gapper, low float, volume, and has news are all analytics for a stock that we can actually trade during the day. But as far as pre-market goes, it would go because every single volume bar is about 1 million. That's very strong. Alright, so I actually did wake up quite late to this. I actually missed this move here. We see here we'd have a super clean bull flag here, run up, consolidation, pushed up. Now, I don't like to trade before 9:45. However, this is a special case. We have here our pre-market high, and then the highest close.
What's going on?
I'm recording something.
Did I just fuck it up?
No, it's fine. It's fine. So here we have the pre-market high, and then over here we're going to have the pre-market high to make the 5-minute close, or the highest 5-minute close at the pre-market level. So as soon as the market opened over here, this is exactly what we're looking at. This just happened to happen right at the market open. Here I have it highlighted. Here I have it highlighted. We see here that the last 1 minute candle in this 5-minute rolling period closed between these two levels, which is ideally what I'm looking for. And as we see here, that's also true right over here. We see that play out right there. So that would have given me enough confidence to enter this position. Despite it being so early, this would have been 9:30. And the reason we don't do that over here is because, as you see here, this is still the middle of the candle. And even if it were to close up here, it could still close down here, as opposed to it closing it at the end of the 5-minute rolling period. We have already something that's firmly painted on the candle structure that we could use as confirmation and as evidence to plan our next move. However, of course, I kind of missed out on that, so we're going to move over here. Okay. So I woke up around here, around 10:15, got on my computer. I have here my, I gotta change that color because this is just not good to see. Like, it's just very, very hard to see this color. Is that better? No. Let me try maybe this greenish kind of color. Maybe this will help. Yeah, that didn't really help. Maybe if I change the width. Maybe if I change the width on it to like 2. Yeah, that is better. Now I can kind of see it. So we have our pre-market high here. I mean our high of day, and then we have the highest point of a 5-minute candle close around here. I'm ideally looking for the next 5-minute high to make a close through there. Now here that didn't exactly happen. It kind of pushed up all the way up. When this kind of happens, I'm forced to face a decision to play the 1-minute game. The reason being this. We see here that, so right here is kind of where everything starts. I need the end of the 5-minute rolling period, one doom right here, to end in this area. So we have it gearing up here, and then here we have a huge move up, and we have at least I close in here. So at this point I'm seeing a sufficient push in volume. The tape is being filled with the orders, the ask orders. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, this is one of those points where you kind of can be patient. I enter my position after this closes, and we're nearing that break. And I enter right over here. So I enter my first position right here at this break level. This is still a risky move. However, all my positions have stop loss and take profit, so it's not really too dangerous. It's not dangerous for me. One position got easily stopped out, and then the other I entered again and it filled. Here I'm just trying to enter smaller positions, exit faster, because I'm entering at a really high level, so I don't have time to accumulate a position here. So I just want to scalp it on the way up, and that's what I did. Here, as you see, it just kind of came back down, right? Yeah, and I think I entered a few couple positions here, and I moved this one to break even, and it didn't get filled over here. This one kind of just got broke even. But essentially the point was that ideally I want to wait for the final candle to make this decision. However, the stock pushed up strong, and I moved in for the scalp move. And in order for that to be successful, I had to keep my take profit small. As you see, if my take profit was a little bit longer, the order wouldn't have executed. So that's just a scalp move that I did. Moving in throughout the day, the stock kept going up higher, and I ended up like doing some bullshit or walking away or getting bored, and the stock actually ended up going higher. And I come back to my computer, I'm like, okay, it's moving up, let me just create a quick scalp. And at this point I actually exited the position. I didn't allow my take profit to take it to get there. I just kind of pressed the escape key for a little quick scalp. No real quick strategy, just saw the movement and the momentum of the push up, breaking newer highs, and scalped it on the way up for, I think it was like a 20-cent gain on 1,000 shares, or it was like 500 shares. Yeah. And yeah, that could have been done much better. The play I liked the most obviously would have been the one at the beginning here. This trade I like the most, and over here we could see that over here. Yeah, like this just is like my style. This is just perfect. It's closing right between these two parameters and setting up the dynamic for the rest of the move. Anything beyond that, yeah, I mean, we still had that ABCD pattern here. Of course, if you pay attention, the 9 EMA still kind of supports it as it consolidates over here. So still longer plays could be done. A lot of things can be moved, but overall it was a good day. I executed properly, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.